Hello everyone! Today, I wanted to make a quick video about all the new updates in Dreams for the release version. Well, to start off with, as soon as you hop into the game, of course there's a new introduction sequence, as well as new tutorials and other stuff like that. There is also a new non-motion control scheme, which is great for a lot of people. A lot of people have been asking for that. Of course, since this is the full release, we have Art's Dream, which is about 3 hours long, give or take. And since this is now a full game, we also have plenty of trophies, as you can see here. Next up is we have new dream shaping UI, as well as a new search menu and stuff like that. If you're looking for where to delete assets and creations, you have to go to your profile and then my creations, and that is the old dream shaping menu where you can go ahead and delete everything that you need to and archive stuff. And sticking with the topic of dream shaping, now you save scenes and assets as one menu. So you go to create something, and then once you save it for the first time, it'll ask you if you want to save it as an asset or a scene, which helps because a lot of people were really confused with that previously. Now there are a crap ton of new imps in imp quests. However, there isn't really an imp editor, so collecting these imps aren't really worth it to me unless you like the imp itself, because with more imps, it's going to be much harder to find something that you want from the randomization menu. There are new gadget colors for everything, so everything matches the section that the gadget is from, so it's not random anymore. There is a new video player that lets you play tutorial videos that Media Molecule has made while making things, so you don't have to leave a scene in order to learn how to make something or sculpt something. There are new thermo tools that are included in the test mode, such as heat maps, physics maps, and there's an analytic mode that lets you see where all the thermo is going while playing through the game, as well as how intensive that part of your game is. There's a new in-depth thermo description, so if you have a lot of stuff in your scene and you open up the thermo menu and you click on one of the thermo little icons in the lower left corner, it'll give you an in-depth description of everything that is being used in each part of the thermo section, as well as some tips on how to reduce the usage. There is now saved camera positions under the assembly menu icon. You click on the add position and then it'll save, and you can go ahead and switch between that and other saved camera positions. There's now a new rotational mode under combiners and splitters, so now instead of the kind of unusable format that we got before, we have something much better, which is yaw, pitch, and roll, and that is kind of like basic rotational stuff. It goes from negative 180 degrees to 180 degrees. There are new puppet animations and settings. There are a lot to see here. It's mostly in the lower body as well as on the main page, and there are new animation buttons. I think it's just idle on the bottom, so you can set a special idle pose really quickly and also change other settings with that. There is now a new 2D puppet mode that has some extra options there. In addition to the puppet animations, the default puppet animations have changed up quite a bit, and the ways that all the animations are set up, so there is much more realistic puppet animations straight off the bat. There are new wipes on the wiper and doors that are the star, other shape, I think there's one other shape, and then a weird wobble effect. There's new restore value on rewind on variables, which basically means when the scene is reset, those variables are reset back to what they used to be. Calculators now have a higher number limit. It goes up pretty high. The higher you go, the less defined it is. So it takes more value for that number actually to go up, and it'll like click to a certain value instead of going up by 1 or lower precision. But number of displayers are still capped at 9,999,999. So text displayers have gone through a major overhaul, including a completely difference in how the way that they're rendered, so you may need to replace or change settings of the ones that you have in your scene. Some of the settings that we have that are new are a text box or circular roundness, and then a taper and a skew, as well as padding. We can choose how much padding there is automatically on the gadget. Wonkiness, excuse me, not askew. And then there's a whole page for textures and as well as shadow. So we get much more organizational with it. And textures now have a fleck option instead of just a texture. So you can have fleck backgrounds on your text gadget. Also, I'm not entirely sure, but I think there may be more fonts than there were in the beta, which is great to have. And there may be 1 or 2 other changes that I am unaware of. But there are now plenty more tutorials for you to watch in-game, as well as use with the new video player. There's a higher door limit per scene now, 20. Previously it was 10. The Sky tool has a randomization of flex option, which allows you to effectively remove sky flex and make realistic looking fog with short fog distance. Recording audio while remote playing has been disabled, unfortunately. This was a great way to import custom audio made on the PC. Either you filtered it, or changed your voice, or used text-to-speech option. Now, unfortunately, that has been removed, as recording audio while remote play is active completely disables any audio input. There's also been a few new changes to the Puppet interface. They've added a few more options here, as you can see, and I may or may not make a video covering them. And I also have some other changes that I wanted to discuss that are not confirmed and may or may not be true. I'm not sure. There are higher thermo limits now, according to some users, where they've gone into older scenes that they've had and there is much more thermo available. I did this with one of my scenes and it didn't seem to change all too much, if at all, so it may not be the case. It may be because they had a lot of doors in their scene, and doors are actually cheaper to use now than they were previously. There have been lighting engine changes. From what I could see, darks are darker, and there's crisper lighting a bit. I will put up a comparison of some of my older footage of Memes of the Game, and then some of the footage I took for this video, and you can see if there is any difference. Speaking of that, there's apparently new sharper image and resolution. I have definitely noticed this. I've been running on higher FPS mode for a long time now, and I still am, but overall the images of Dreams seems a little bit less blockier than before. But again, this isn't really confirmed. The controller sensor may or may not have new outputs. 2 new outputs on the last page of camera transform and hover position. I'm not sure if these are new or not, but I've never noticed them before, and they are pretty useful. You can now drag slices from one sound to another sound's slice editor, as well as remove them from the sound gadget to make a new sound. I think this may have been in previously, at least moving them off the sound gadget to make a new sound, but as far as I was aware, you weren't able to move slices from one sound gadget to another. Thank you all for watching. If you think I missed anything, go ahead and comment in the comments what I missed, and thank you all, and have a great day. Bye-bye.